Good
Hello.
day, everyone.
Welcome to Virtual Concert Halls. This is a live show with Dr. Anna Svanskaya and I today, and we're really happy to co-host this program together.
Thank you, Chris. And I'm joining from Washington, D.C. area, and we have a beautiful sunny day today. Chris, how's the weather where you are?
Yeah, Toronto is looking really good. And bright and sunny, and I'm really excited to be able to host with you today. And we have this really amazing program, which is called Hard Questions, isn't it?
Yes. So we're visiting the questions of musicians' challenges in the modern world. And today, me and Chris, just two of us, are searching for solutions.
We are with a mission this year, and as well as from the beginning, to connect musicians and audiences in real-time performances and music from around the globe.
This season, we're presenting a lot of different programs, concerts, performances, auditions, competitions, a lot. And among that big variety of programs, we are also presenting series of discussions on the topics of musicians' role in modern society and musicians' ability to thrive in this very sometimes confusing environment. So me and Chris, we don't have all the answers.
We don't have all the answers, but we want to start diving into some of these questions and these topics because as we invite a lot of our judges and teachers and leaders of music schools and conductors and music managers and people within the music industry, these are all people who have wrestled with these kinds of questions and problems and concerns, right?
Yeah, and we collaborate with an absolutely amazing community of all these professionals who are focused on one of the areas, but also dive into a variety of areas of our business, music education, performance, and all of that. And these people are adding their energy. And we are blessed to be working together with them on making this world a better place.
Yes, and this is sort of
everyone.
like warming us up for what we're going to do, which is to interview a lot of these people and ultimately participate in debates and discussions, presentations, and judges panels. One of the most exciting things we do is these judges panels where we have 4 or 5 different judges and we pit them almost against each other and to come up with sort of ideas on how this music industry is working and how things are going. And it's really an exciting part of what we do.
And especially how this music industry is not working and what can we do to make it work better and to make it a better, more cultured, more connected, more exciting and more creative world for everyone involved.
Absolutely. And this is why we do this, right? And it's a really fun thing this upcoming season. So for all those who are watching, we really look forward to including you upon this. And if you have any comments or anything you want to suggest to us, we would love to discuss this too, especially pertinent questions within our society today, post-pandemic or still wrestling with the pandemic and the aftermath of that. How do musicians thrive and how can we create an environment that supports musicians?
Yeah, how we make the most and the best out of this world for musicians and for everyone who wants to keep going forward with better and more connected music world. And speaking of music, I think we need to hear some of it at
Absolutely.
least.
Si vedrà, or chi so, si vedrà. Dopo da fede la felicità, felicità.
And yes, that's exactly the energy we want.
That's amazing. That's really cool. And with this, these are just some of the musicians that we're going to hear from this season, and also we hope that you will be part of this too. So please make sure you apply. We have a lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah, please apply, and if you're just watching, please send us your comments and your own suggestions, your own point of view. We want to interconnect musicians and presenters and managers and everyone with the people who are commonly called as audience. To us, it's not audience, it's actually people who are part of this process. And today we are sort of doing a preview of what's coming, and we'll have those programs, of course, in much more depth. Today it's Chris, let's do the rapid fire, our
Yes.
favorite game, right?
Yeah. We do this because it's gets us thinking on our feet, and also these are all topics in which we're very interested in. And so if you have any comments and if you have any feedback for us and on these discussions, please also let us know.
Absolutely. We would like to include our audience members. So our fabulous directors, magicians are going to bring your questions, interrupt us anytime. And we'll read your question and we will reply and respond to that. Chris, I'm going to take charge and I'm going to throw something at you.
Go for it.
And see what you think of on the topic of how do we as musicians approach balancing two seemingly very conflicting paths forward. One is preserving traditional formats of concerts and performances, and the other path is inclusion or shifting to the more modern forms. And in modern forms, I mean the forms which actually do kind of clash and in dissonance with the more traditional approach to concert going and presenting. TikTok, short videos, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think the very simple answer is audience. I know you mentioned, what is an audience? And, well, it's the kind of people who are going to either come to your concerts, or these are the people who are viewing you on TikTok, YouTube, or all the social media platforms, or these are people within, maybe you're performing at a winery and people are tasting wine as they're listening to your music. And how...
Wait, stop. Is that appropriate for classical music to be on the background while tasting wine?
Well, it depends. Again, once I said, like, so the audience who are going to hear this, if they want to enjoy music, and if you think about the sort of, I know you're being devil's advocate here, but
Yes, I am.
Traditional ways in which music was performed by Chopin in his time, he was performing in salons. Liszt definitely performed in his small chamber sort of rooms or kind of ballrooms perhaps, and people were expected to have something to drink or be maybe having a discussion of sorts as the music is going on. And this idea that would be perfectly silent in a concert hall of more than 1,000 people is actually a rather modern concept. It really doesn't apply to the kind of music platform that was back in the day of these composers who we revere. And so back into my point, which is sort of the audience. Who are you performing for? And the more I feel we are able to understand the audience and know them and know their background and know what they're interested in and what they're here for, what they're here to experience, then this question of traditional formats or including modern forms kind of goes away, because you're trying to make sure that you can appeal to them, but also maybe elevate the experience for them so that they come back or they come home with sort of this something new, something that they can't get either on a screen, something that they can't get perhaps just going to a normal concert or going to the movies or sitting on their couch. So how can you engage these people? And I think that's where my answer comes from.
That's a fabulous answer. And we definitely will have to dive into it, because as you were speaking, I had a rapid fire counter arguments.
Counter argument, there we go, yes.
And I'm going to hold back on that, because there will be a time and place for us to dive a lot more in depth into that question. Now time for music. Wow, she is
Bravo.
fabulous.
Yeah, she really is.
Extraordinary.
Amazing.
Yeah, and
So-
she has such a presence too. Yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely, she really does. No, so back into the thing we're doing today. For everybody watching, welcome back to Virtual Concert Halls. We are presenting this sort of live debate discussion thing to get us thinking about problems within our modern society, especially in the music industry, that we need to dive into. And this all is warming.
Aha. I think something got cut off on Chris's side, and there was supposed to be his question. And I'm going to eagerly await for that question to come up. We have a comment. Thank you so much. And thank you for being with us and for commenting. And I'd like to encourage our audience, please do comment. These are interactive programs, and we are here to field your comments, field your questions. And frankly, you don't always have to be very... complimentary. If there's something you would like to us to improve, please share that. Chris, you're back.
Yes.
You were
So
hiding your question from me.
Yes, I'm warming it up and developing it. So my question for you, Dr. Anna, is multiple streams of income.
Ooh.
Musicians are obviously probably used to this idea, but what if developing another stream of income involves developing another skill? Would you encourage musicians to develop other skills apart from performing and teaching and collaborative work, perhaps? And does one need to embark on a new degree to develop the skill? Now, just to context, this skill could be applicable to the music industry, in music work, or not. So.
Oh my God, Chris. I love your questions and I hate them because, you know, my brain functions in Tolstoy's formats. What you just asked in my brain immediately comes into page-long sentences and 150 pages long
I see.
chapters. Okay? And I'm
Yeah.
forced to give you a rapid answer, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into Chekhov version of it. All right. So, but to be serious about it, I think the development of the world, the best part of it is the world is moving towards tremendous variety and diversity of opportunities. Now, it has a challenge and it has a great advantage to it. A challenge because the main challenge is how confusing it can be. Mm-hmm. I have hundreds of choices, and you just listed at least a dozen of them, right?
Right.
And that's in the rapid fire version of it. If you go in depth, that's going to be hundreds of choices. And that's a challenge because it's confusing. The advantage of the choices is that I can choose more precisely what fits me. And I think that needs to be, that's my advice to anyone who has that question, and to myself as well. Yeah. I remind myself about it. Making choices, career choices, what I want to learn, what I want to present, all of those choices, I need to be very much in tune with my own self and allow myself to be in the present, in the moment, in my today's skin, and make a choice which suits my today's skin most. And what I mean by that is it good to embark on a new degree? Absolutely yes. If you embark on getting a new degree, you need to find the institution which provides exactly the knowledge and skills you're looking for. Is it good to embark on your self-learning journey and find those skills, basically make a buffet of offerings online and in person from different institutions, different people, and make it an a la carte education process? Absolutely, because then you are in charge of each element which goes into your education. Now, these are very different choices. How do you choose between them? Again, you have to listen to yourself, and you have to. And I believe courage and preparedness to make mistakes and backtrack your steps and go different direction with flexibility and is extraordinarily important in the environment of a lot of choices. And I want to just bring to your point about embarking on new skills and so forth. I just want to bring one example. One of my biggest mentors in life is a dead man, J.S. Bach. I studied his bio, I studied his music in so much depth. I was obsessed with Bach as a composer and as a person. And I always had the same question. What made him who he was? And I like to dismantle biases and preconceptions. So I was coming from the place where I didn't want to just say, well, genius. That answer was not good enough for me. I wanted to dissect the genius. What it is he did. So, and here's one example. J.S. Bach's income was more diverse than I've ever seen anyone else. He was drawing his income from composing, from rehearsing with the orchestras, from playing organ, from playing all those other instruments, from teaching kids choir, from making his own copies by hand of his own music, from publishing, from self-publishing. That's relevant to today. And on top of all of that, he was making loads of money by being a businessman. He had a company which provided churches and other organizations with installation and repairs of organs.
Wow.
He trained technicians. He made contracts. He went on fields assessing what that organ needs. And he led a sizable company of experts who were going from one church to another, installing, repairing, and tuning the organs. How marvelous is that of an answer?
Yeah. And so if J.S. Bach was able to incorporate multiple streams of income in order
And
to
14 children.
Yeah, exactly. Right, like not only just to feed his family, but it's a part of his work. Then, what excuse do we have to say no? We're just going to do the one thing. But at the same time, like you said, with choices, you have to choose the thing that really is relevant to you. You know, you have to really find the thing that kind of be more precise about what you want, and not just try to do a whole bunch of different things. And
You're right. There were other composers, and I don't want to go too much in depth here.
Yeah.
But there were other composers who were just as genius.
Yeah.
Focusing on much fewer things than Bach did.
Absolutely. Well, with that, let's go to hear some more music, and we'll dive into that topic again very soon.
Yes. What a joy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I
Young
agree.
energy, so much pure joy.
Yeah, and beautiful playing too, absolutely. It was a very kind of, and you can see the orchestra. What's really cool is you can see the orchestra's kind of members reacting to the kind of music, and that's really, really fun for anyone watching as well.
That's right. And I always say we keep kids within their very thin slice of their own peers' age groups. They go to school and it's 10 to 12 or something.
Yeah.
They go to sports, it's 10 to 12. They go to music competition, it's 10 to 12 and all that. And what an amazing mix when you have those 10 to 12s with adults. Because, I mean, kids don't even mix with adults all that much. Mostly okay, we're learning from adults, but here they are making music together. What a joy.
It's amazing. Well, so you have a next question for me. This is
my next question.
Yes.
You know, Chris, I prepared some questions, I'll be honest.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, I did. I'm sneaky.
Well, likewise too, but yes.
Okay.
We have to be somewhat prepared, right? The answers are not prepared, but the questions are, so that's good.
Okay, there we go. But I am gonna pick out of the hat. Covers. Music covers. What do you think, Chris? And we're going to ask our judges, of course. But you're one of them. You're one of our judges panel. So, is it appropriate venture? Or is it more like going in the direction of gradual degradation of the high culture through sort of bending down to the level of undereducated people and getting on the level with them, as opposed to raising the audience to our high standards of understanding of the culture and music?
Yes. Well, what this high understanding...
I can see you smiling.
Yeah, we're so high up and elevated. I think this is sort of, in a way, rubbish. The whole sort of idea that there's this esteemed and musical is on this music that we play is on this pedestal. If you look back on the kind of something very, very simple, a form that we play a lot in classical music, which is, again, this esteemed thing, is theme and variations. You take theme and variations, and you take usually composers from Beethoven, Mozart, to Brahms, to Schumann. They'll take a very simple melody and then write all these incredible variations on it. And it's very similar in a way to taking sort of what we do, like simple folk songs or songs we know, and then writing something based on that. So I think if the covers are creative in that sense, that is really in line with what you do. But also another thing I want to bring to your attention is something that Franz listed, which was incredible, which was to take the Lieder songs that Schubert wrote or Robert Schumann wrote, and then put it for the piano. And these are sort of covers in their own way, but what Liszt does, which is really cool, is he incorporates a lot of advanced pianistic techniques within the music, so it sounds a little bit more virtuosic, but the idea, the musical ideas, the structure and everything is still there. It's still intact. It's just he elevates this for not just for the voice and piano, but for just piano solo. And I think really clever musicians are doing these kind of things where they take a song that we all know and we're really familiar with, and it's part of pop culture. And these songs that are in pop culture are famous, I think, for a reason. And
yes, I agree with that.
Very catchy. It's probably has a really cool rhythmic thing that they're using, or something very subtle. I saw recently that sort of bossa nova, this sort of rhythm and this dance is coming back within our popular music, but it's very hidden. It's in ways that are subtle. And so I think musicians out there who are in the pop industry deserve a lot more credit, or at least the people behind the scenes deserve a lot more credit for what they do, because they make this music thrive. They have audiences. They're getting people to listen. So what we do as cover makers, cover musicians, could be, and this could be in our traditional format of concerts or in a new format, is to make this music that people know and love accessible on the piano, and maybe add your own flair, add some virtuosity, add something cool that's yours, and bring your own voice into it. But there's no point sort of pitting music against each other. And I think so covers, if it's done well, and it's about how you do it, but if it's done well, I'm all for it.
Yeah, maybe we can just say that in the 19th century, the same thing was called transcriptions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How about that? Yeah, exactly.
And just as you pointed out, Liszt and many others use the music written before them, and folk music, which would be probably equivalent of current mainstream music, pop music, and just added the classical tools to that to
reharmonized it. Maybe they added different figurations, and I think it's very applicable. You think of all these sort of even in jazz, they would take popular tunes and then sort of rewrite them and improvise on them. And I think this is very applicable. So I'm definitely for covers. I think it's about how you do it.
Yeah, this is a very interesting topic, and I can hear my own wheels spinning, because we'll have some guests who are actually in the publishing industry and who have much more knowledge than you or me, I think, combined in terms of copyrights and those aspects of covers. And it'll be very interesting to hear from them down the road. This season is long, and we'll have a lot of programs dedicated to these topics. Right now we're just simple pianists, right? You know what I mean? We're diving empirically into our own experience and our own views of that. Let's hear some music. What a voice! What a passion!
Oh,
Incredible.
absolutely. Yeah.
These are
Really
the
amazing.
artists which participate in our events, and I want to welcome everyone. Please, you saw a very young pianist and very accomplished singers, and there is an event for every musician's age and level and stage, and every
Oh,
next
for
steps
sure.
you want to take. We are here to embrace you, welcome you in our community of extraordinary musicians and supporters of music, and to actually help you with the best we have to take those next steps, which you choose what they are.
Absolutely. It's so cool we're doing this in the 2023-2024 season, and we have a big season ahead. And one of the things we're doing to discuss and to show you that we're not just a competition that is purely performance based. We want to show you our judges and the discussions we have, the debates, and include you because we're broadcasting on social media. We might as well be social, and so
Oh,
I
exactly.
would encourage you to be a part of this and to understand that we are all human. We are all people who are in the music business, but we want to make an impact and to share and contribute a whole lot more than just the music part of it. And so I have a question for you, Dr. Anna.
Aha.
And
Okay.
I'd like to ask you, why should young people now pursue a music degree? Is
They
this...
shouldn't.
That's
No,
a very
keep
quick
going.
answer. Now, next music.
That's right.
Is it financially wise to take on the debt and take on the time to pursue a music degree? Whether, and usually people want to go to, the top music schools, let's say.
Of course.
But even maybe not some of the top music schools, and they have people applying as well. Is it worthwhile in the long run to do this? Or what are your thoughts on this? Especially now, like in this current moment, in this day and age, musicians maybe who are 16, 17 who are thinking about this. What are your thoughts?
Yes, this is a very serious, important question, and we are going to be asking these same questions of our guests, of course. But I'm more than happy to share my own take on it. And Chris, most of my answers to those kind of choice questions are centered on a person. And I think in this modern day and age, again, with absolute endless variety of choices and opportunities and just incredible variety, the first thing I would advise to everyone, myself included, is to be on a never-ending journey of learning ourselves, and also focusing on learning who I am today. Where I grew up in the Soviet Union, our choices had very far-fetched consequences, and once you make a step, you are kind of stepping on tracks. And it was very difficult to change the direction, extremely difficult, because it was a different time and a different country and so forth. And for me personally, that being so boxed in into one directional train going was always the greatest source of discomfort. If not to say more. So maybe it's me personally, but I believe and I feel and I see in many young musicians, and not only musicians, young people, and just in people in general, sometimes a wasted opportunity to really take the most out of those choices which are in front of us. So, is it worth pursuing a degree? It depends on what you plan to do with it. So it's very important to think beyond getting the degree. What am I going to do with that degree? Because, for instance, there are some people with, let's say, very academic inclination, and they want to do the research. They want to, research something in depth, summarize, publish. Educational institution is a best source for that kind of a degree, because that's where the academic is concentrated. And
Right.
if you go to a music institution like Juilliard, that's one of the absolute pinnacle of music education in the world, you not only provided the knowledge and the skills and opportunity to learn the skills, you are also among like-minded people.
Yeah.
And that means what you plan to do with your degree is going to be assisted by the people you meet there, because you'll meet your future collaborators, of course, friends, and you'll meet, your network of people who will be doing it with you. One person can do only so much.
Yeah.
Together we can get so much more done. Now, performance degrees, same. Let's use the same example, Juilliard. If, for example, if you're really interested in the performance on stage, as a solo pianist, as a collaborative pianist, and you want that really intense experience at the highest possible level of perfection, Juilliard is perfect place for you. So is
Yeah.
Paris Conservatory and many other places. But also look for the teacher who is going to lead you through those hurdles and then unfold that education for you and so forth. So if you plan to use the degree to give you the background to be on stage, be confident, know that you learned from absolute best performers in the world how to be a performer. Go to Juilliard, or try to go to one of those schools where the performance is focused, and so forth. Now, same thing. You said, is it worth becoming a musician? Is it worth becoming a chemist? For someone who is passionate about that science, absolutely yes. So we need to start with a dream and then decide, because
I agree.
my dream is worth my life.
Yeah.
Now, there's another aspect of it. I also want to have a good life. I want to have enough money for my other hobbies. I want to have enough time to pursue other things, and so do most people. So, but if I have both, it's hard. It's hard for musicians to earn money. But look, it's hard for anyone to earn money.
Yeah.
Let's not be elitist in here. We're not in some kind of suppressed part of the society. Absolutely not. Now, there's some ways you can earn money as a musician which you can't as a chemist, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So if music is your passion, my advice, go for it. And keep in mind that music is not the only thing in the world. I don't worship music, and I don't advise anyone should. Other things in life are as important. So you take charge of your own destiny, and you make music part of a source of well-being and good income.
Yeah. Well, it's a very good answer. Honestly, I think this is why we should do these more often, because actually a lot of young people should take this kind of advice with them instead of just all my friends are kind of applying for music school, so I guess I should. It's there's a higher goal. There's something you need to be more intentional about in your future. Otherwise, it's just it's not a waste of time, but you have to make decisions that are based on things that are a bit more long term, and not just in terms of long term goals, but maybe values and things you want to do in environment. And with that, let's listen to another performance. Right? Let's get some music and enjoy that too.
Oh wow!
Hey,
I
there we
can't
go.
help it.
Hey,
Standing
incredible.
ovation to
Incredible,
Nahar.
incredible.
Yeah, she was winner of the Call Orchestra last season and performed this with the Western New York Chamber Orchestra.
Well deserved. Well deserved. Absolutely.
Amazing performance. Chris, we are running out of time. So whatever
Wow.
I prepared, I'll have to scratch and ask at the next panel. We'll
Don't
have
scratch
panel
it out.
discussions.
There's more we can talk about. We'll brainstorm some new discussions. And if you enjoyed these discussions, we encourage you to be a part of them. Either give us some feedback or give us more questions and things you want to discuss. Because I think, for my part, I'm learning a lot just talking to you about this, Dr. Anna, and to think about these questions too.
So do I.
Yeah. No, I don't think I'm giving you anything you don't already know, but it's really good to be able to discuss this and to make sort of read some new seeds of thought and values and what we want to bring into this competition and to this season.
Yeah, it's a journey. We are on all platforms. Please visit one of them. Just key in Sound Espressivo or Virtual Concert Halls, Progressive Musicians, one of our collaborative companies. And here are our collaborators, and we're so grateful. There's a lot of collaborators joining us and adding the energy to our own efforts. Thank you all very, very much. And now I want to thank our team. Fabulous musicians who are creating this magic for everyone. This absolutely incredible virtual stage is a creation of musicians, for audience, for everyone to connect.
We have an amazing team. We have a lot of productions coming up for this season. And so we're very grateful to our team. But also, we encourage you to be a part of this show. We're going all the way until at least July 2024. And so we've got a lot of things going on. And we want you to help out and to contribute and to share with your partners and to other people who might be interested to contribute to us and our cause, to support musicians and to have incredible opportunities for musicians all around the world.
No matter where you are or who you are, music connects us all. We started with a dream, but now we are paving the future. Welcome to the Sound Espressivo Global Competition. Fully virtual, yet bringing musicians closer together than ever before, now on a global scale. True live, inclusivity, diversity, connection, community, an extraordinary array of judges. Get noticed by companies all over the world. Prizes, scholarships, performance opportunities. Apply to be a part of the most exciting congregation of artists like nothing you've ever seen before. We guarantee quality and leave no musician behind. We can't wait to hear you on the virtual stage.
Yes, we can't wait to hear you on the virtual stage. Those are golden words which I want to say again and again. Virtual stage is prepared, ready, humming on the background, functioning,
warmed up,
ready for you to warmed up, ready for you to step in and join this worldwide concert hall.
Absolutely. And with that, we'll see you soon, and we hope you tune in next time as well. Thank you to our team, thank you to our sponsors, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
At 12. Bye.